Moon Podcast Escalation! Hello, everyone. My name is Jordan D. White.
My name is Chris Sims, and this is Sailor Business. It's the podcast where we watch every single episode of the classic 1990s Sailor Moon anime, and we talk about why it is that we love it so very much. And this week, hey, we're 6 episodes into the season. It's time for the season to start.
I'm so excited. I'm really so excited.
I'm really interested because, again, these are episodes I know nothing about going in. Like, I knew the words Sailor Iron Mouse, but I kind of didn't think they were real.
Oh, let's bring in our guest so we can talk about all this.
Yes, to help us talk about Sailor Moon this week, we have a fantastic guest. We have Diana Restrepo is here. Diana, welcome to the show.
Yay, thank you. Hello.
Now, were you named for the cat from the future?
Well, no, she was named after me.
Okay.
No. Actually, my mom was going to call me Renee, and then she decided that was a terrible idea. So then she decided, because I'm from Colombia, so this is a funny thing. Kermit the Frog in Colombia, his name is Renee.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so my mom was like,
Interesting.
wait, no, I don't want my child to be called a frog all the way through school. So I am now Diana, or Diana, as they say in Spanish.
Ooh. Which do you prefer? What should I be saying?
Usually friends and family go with Diana, so if you can do that, that's great. If
Sure
you
thing.
forget, I won't be mad.
So we're friends now. That's
Yeah.
nice.
I mean, I would like to think so. You've been in my ear for so long.
Aw.
Well, Diana, since...
Well, I was going to ask, are you
Go ahead,
happy
Jordan.
to have gotten your name, or would you have preferred Renee?
I mean, that's cool, but let me tell you, I would have a complex about frogs.
Okay.
I would. So, yeah. I can think it's better things worked out the way they did.
It was either Frog or Cat from the Future. So
I have 3 cats, so I'm happy with cat.
To be fair, I think Kermit the Frog pretty much killed the name Kermit, too. So
Yeah, I guess it was only here when I was a grown-up that I realized Kermit was an actual human name
yes.
at one time, and I was like, how does that work?
It's
But,
over.
you know,
It's over.
hey, as long as you don't see some random human named Miss Piggy, I'm happy with that too.
I actually really like the name Kermit, but yeah, it's unfortunately a massively famous fictional frog.
Yes.
Diana, what is your history with Sailor Moon?
Oh wow. Okay. Well, it was funny because I am probably a slightly bit older than some of your other guests. 36, just turned 36. Yay. So I was in Colombia when it all started, and for some funny reason, anime tends to go down to South America first before it comes to the U.S. So I was aware of Sailor Moon around 95, 96, which is when it was coming out in Japan.
Mm.
And I had a cousin that was in love with it. And I was like, okay, that's weird, whatever. She would like dressed up. Her mom would make her like wigs out of yarn of Usagi's little buns. It was very cute. And that was kind of like the only thing I had about it until we moved here to the US in 97. And I did not speak any English. I came straight into high school. As an immigrant with no English in an American high school, yes, it is just as awkward as you imagine.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, so it was hard. I was very lonely. I was very out of place. And then later on, I think it was 98, it started to show in the US was it like at 6 a.m.? It was something like mad early. I was too old to wake up that early. It's like, only like 5-year-olds wake up at 6 to look at cartoons.
Yeah.
I did not. I had to wait until it came on Cartoon Network, and I ran across it, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. I remember this. And then I started to see this girl, and I was like, she was kind of like a mess, and I was a mess. Yeah, she was like everybody was yelling at her, and she didn't know what to do, and I didn't know what to do, and I was getting bits and pieces because I still didn't speak English great, so I was just kind of getting the gist of it. But it just seemed to be a 14-year-old that was like 15, 16. A 14-year-old that kind of was messing up and didn't like school, and she was completely out of place, but she was still doing it and still being like this being of love and friendship and everything. And I was like, oh, okay, so, you don't have to be perfect and you don't have to be, like this perfect mold of an American girl to be able to be a superhero. So from there, I kind of just fell in love with the idea. And I actually started trying to learn English more so I could understand what was going on. So it actually helped me in school because I was like, no, I need to know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. And I actually found the subs and I fell in love with the subs because for me it was easier to read in English than it was to hear it. So I actually watched all 200 episodes with dial-up internet. So you guys know it would take like 7 hours to download one episode. But I was dedicated. And it just became kind of like my safe shore where when everything else was really crazy, I could come back to these girls and they were my friends and they were teaching me the language and they were teaching me that, the world wasn't so bad after all. And I've been obsessed since then. Like now they just represent a very pure part of my childhood that got me through a lot. So that's why I love it so much.
That's such a great story because that's like an in-universe Sailor Moon story.
Pretty much.
Where it's like I was at a new high school and I didn't know anyone and I didn't speak the language very well and then I met Usagi and she became my friend.
Pretty much. It's just so funny because I remember one time in my high school you had to go to like gym class, like they didn't come to you had to find the gym class like across the way, and my high school was huge. It was like 2,000 students. I got lost and I could not ask anybody because I didn't know English and everything sounded like gibberish, and I literally sat down in the middle of the hallway and I started crying and I was like, I just want to go home. It's like, why am I here? I don't belong here. I just want to go home. And it was that moment, like imagine that episode of Sailor Moon at the very beginning when there's like the sad person that turns into a Yoma. That was me. And
so do you
that was kind of it.
So are you a Usagi? Are you into Usagi? I guess I should probably try and pronounce things correctly.
I'm too much of a Slytherin to be an Usagi. But I am an Usagi lover. Like I would be that girl that is a little snarky, but as soon as Usagi came over, I'd be like, yes, please, I need your friendship like I need water. Thank you.
I apologize for saying that the Sorting Hat should have eaten your head, but I have said that about all Slytherins, so sorry.
It's okay. It hit me very hard the first time that I found out, but then I realized Merlin was a Slytherin, and we're not all bad.
Yeah, Merlin. Yeah.
So you're a manga Ray.
Yes, I'm more of a manga Ray, not an anime Ray. Damn, I hated anime Ray. Sorry.
That's great.
Yeah, more of a manga Ray. A little bit. I think I'm a little bit more of a Hotaru because I had my little depressive goth episodes as well. So.
All right.
So
which one is your favorite, Scout? Who is your favorite?
Okay. So this has actually changed.
Oh.
And I blame the Dig Dub because I hated a lot of what they did with Usagi in the Dig Dub because her voice, when you're trying to learn the language and somebody's talking to you like, I was like, no. Like, I love your personality, but please don't talk. So I didn't appreciate Usagi as much as I could. So I was more of like, I love Tetsuna, so I love Pluto. And I loved Saturn because, again, little goth girl. I recognize my darkness in them. And I was like, I'm cool. I mean, come on, Dead Scream is the coolest thing in the world. Mm-hmm. But then the more I grew up and I watched the originals and I read the manga, and I think Usagi's my favorite now.
Awesome.
Yeah, especially with Stars, like you really see her maturity. Even in this episode, it's like she still has that cool, like innocent kind of fun, but she has this maturity and this love that I'm like, yes, I want to be you, please. So yes, it used to be the little goth girls, now it's Usagi.
Yeah, I feel like this episode does a really good job of like it's a good Usagi episode. But we'll get to that in a minute. What are our other standard questions, Jordan? It's been a minute.
It has been a while. The Miracle Romance.
Oh,
yes.
The Miracle Romance. Okay. So again, very conflicted because when you're 15 or 16 and you're watching this show, you're like, yes, that's me. I can hang out with an older man. I should have a 20-something-year-old boyfriend. They're in love. That all makes a lot of sense when you're that age. Now I'm like, I think Mamoru has the best intentions. He's been dealt a hand by destiny, and he's going with it to the best of his ability. Manga is a beautiful romance. The anime, it's a little sus. But I try to give him the benefit of the doubt. It's not his fault. His Destin Moon lover is a child.
Yeah. I mean, because like I will say in his defense, and it's not easy to say anything in his defense. I understand that. But I don't feel like he really pursues her. I feel like it is thrust upon him in a way that he's like, oh, really?
Yeah.
I feel like something is thrust upon someone.
All right.
No, I feel that exact same way. He's like, hey, I like her, she's cool, and I guess this is what we're doing. I'm like, okay, well, keep it professional until she turns 18 or 16, as it might be in this episode, as we shall see.
Yeah. And then what about Chris's miracle romance of Cookbook?
You know what? Everybody says this, but I never saw it. It works. I don't believe all the proof that Chris says all the time is actually there. But I will fight it because I think it's adorable. And Ami has grown on me a lot. Like, she used to be kind of my least favorite just because she was kind of boring. But now, the later episodes, I'm like, oh, she's so cute. She deserves a true love. And Greg is not it.
Thank you.
Yes. So Makoto, sure. She's strong. She could carry her around.
And I understand we had another question that we used to ask, but from my understanding, it's about a character who will never appear again. So we could probably just forget about it forever.
Yeah, Jordan, I gotta say, stars. We got rid of your least favorite, and we got rid of my least favorite. Apparently,
Jordan.
Yes.
Jordan. I would say never. I would say never appear again. But okay. I will say not in any significant way.
All right. Are you, well, we might as well ask then. What are your thoughts on Chibi? Are you a fan or what? Okay,
you said you had a Chibi hate site before.
Did.
I might have been a member. Again, dub.
Yeah.
Doesn't help.
Oh yeah.
She was very shrill. I don't do well with shrill. And I was just like, oh my god, stop trying to hug the mama all to yourself. Child with your dad. This is very weird. And then, again, I hated her. Supers, I mean, I love all Sailor Moon, so I can't say I hated Supers, but she was tolerable. And then the movie, she's like, okay. But, yeah, not a huge fan.
Excellent. Mm-hmm. Good taste.
Oh, thank you.
So,
look, I'll say I hated Supers. I'll say it all day long.
Oh, that hurts my heart.
Supers is not good.
I know.
I mean, I don't want to say it almost killed our love of Sailor Moon, but it certainly strained it.
It didn't make it easy.
It made the show hard to love, and I am happy to say I'm so happy to say, slight teaser for what we're about to talk about. I felt like this episode was 1,000,000 times better than Supers, and I thought it was also about 1,000 times better than the first however many episodes of the season. Like, this is real Sailor Moon to me. I'm in.
Well, the other thing that you notice is that it's like they took a lot more love for the animation.
Yeah.
Especially close-ups. They are like, they went, okay, stars, this is our last hurrah, let's do it right. I love it. It's my favorite season. Stars is my favorite season. I think Super is my second favorite. So I am so excited that we're going to be talking about it.
Now, before we get to the episode, there's a couple things we should talk about. First of all, Chris, I think we should apologize to everybody.
I don't think we necessarily need to apologize, but I do think I want to thank everyone for rejoining us after our summer hiatus.
Right.
This has been a weirdly busy summer, but yeah, I don't think we were expecting to take as much of a break as we did.
We weren't. Again, we are. Well, I'm sorry. Chris is apparently not sorry, but thank you for sticking around. Thank you for
Look, it was kind of unavoidable. Like, it's not like we were just goofing off. Well, I mean, I was working.
Yeah,
he's grateful. He's not sorry, but he's grateful. That's okay.
I think if you want justification for why it has been so late, go read these X-Men comics Jordan's been editing that are very, very good.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It was a lot of work because making Jonathan Hickman good is a lot of work.
No, it's so tough. You had to really proofread, get up the ruler, make sure those charts were straight.
Oh, don't mention proofreading. There's been already too many mistakes gotten through. Oh, I'm so sad. Anyway, two other things I did want to talk about before we get to it, and we can keep it brief. One, though, is big enough that I don't think we should wait, which is a lot of people sent us tweets about this. There is a permanent Sailor Moon restaurant opening in Tokyo.
Ooh,
did you see this, Chris, or no?
I did not see it, no.
We're going to fly. All right, just if a few more Patreon subscribers should be able to get us to fly to Tokyo.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
This is relevant to my interest. Because my honeymoon is going to be in Japan.
Oh, well, then you actually might be able to go to this in a reasonable time. Take a look. I just sent the link over through to you guys.
Live stage shows every day.
Yes, 3 live stage shows every single day. There's a lunch menu and then a dinner menu. There's I'm looking the adorable foods. During the day, they serve the Usagi strawberry smoothie and the Mamoru iced coffee, and then at night they also serve pink lemonade, blue cider, red cider, green nectar, golden mango, and black sugar coffee for all the senshis. Yeah, it looks super cool, and anybody who does get out to it, absolutely send us the info. Send us your take on it, what your thoughts were. You can email us. What's the email address, Chris?
The email address is sailorbusinesspodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, absolutely get in touch with us because we want to hear all the details.
Yeah, and look, Jordan, I mean, you joke.
I do.
But we have been doing this show for 5 years. I have a Sailor Moon tattoo. I think eventually we're gonna maybe not together, but we're gonna have to go to Tokyo.
I mean, my wife wants to go to Tokyo very, very badly. Like, she's always wanted to go. There's two things about that. One is that we do have a little baby now, which is going to make it very difficult. And the other being that I will admit to being nervous about going anywhere that doesn't speak English, not because I'm afraid of their culture, just because I'm afraid of being an idiot. Like, I'm afraid of not knowing what I'm doing completely.
Yeah, but Tokyo, the signs in Tokyo are in English. Like, I found this out recently. Like, the signs for the subway are in they're in, I believe it's Japanese, Korean, Chinese, and English.
Oh no, I didn't know that. All right,
so well, I feel like of all of the your big cities, your Paris, Istanbul.
I don't know about Paris.
They are cosmopolitan enough cities, and they are used to tourists enough that I think you can get by. Okay.
Yeah, and I heard that in Japan, like in Tokyo, people get really excited when you speak English, and even if you try to speak Japanese to them, a lot of them are like, "No, I want to practice my English," blah blah. So they might actually be more open to helping you in your language.
All right. Well,
field trip.
I assume it's just like those Azumanga Daioh episodes where they run into people who speak English.
So. I love Azumanga Daioh. Oh my god.
We got a couple other things to talk about, Jordan.
Oh, let's hear
before we get into the episode.
Yes.
It's my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Today?
Tomorrow. As we are recording this tomorrow, as you are listening to it, who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. It is my birthday. I am
happy birthday.
Thank you.
Are you going to tell us how old you are?
Nice that you don't keep track of when my birthday is. That's fine.
Do you remember when my birthday is? I'm going to feel bad
December.
if you do. Well, okay, that's vague. So good.
Hey, you got the month right. And there was 12 to choose from. It was good.
Yeah, you have a close to Christmas birthday. It's early though, right? It's like the 16th or something.
Oh, fuck you, man! It's the 18th. You're very close. God damn it. Hey, we also missed Usagi's birthday.
Yeah.
We did miss Usagi's birthday. We didn't do a podcast, which is taking the easy way out, and I did eat and sleep.
Okay, good.
You know who else's birthday we missed?
You?
Whose?
This is Deanna reminded me of this. August 3rd is Mamoru Chiba's birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
August 3rd, 1974. That's right, everybody. God. Tuxedo Mask is canonically 45 years old, and that is what I'm going to call him for the rest of the year.
Okay, but not in the time of the show we're watching.
Yeah, it is accurate for a certain definition.
He's technically correct, which is the best kind of correct.
He's 45.
45.
Yeah.
And I mean, and again, Usagi is, I believe, 41 this year, so it's not as bad. Like, Usagi is my sister's age, so
I always forget that she's older than me.
Yeah, me too. I'm like,
yeah,
feels weird.
Child, and I'm like, oh,
she was 14 in 92.
I was only 12 in 92. Yeah,
that's crazy. I was 9 in 92. Oh, weird.
And Deanna, you had a recent birthday, right?
I did actually the day before Tuxedo Mask, August 2nd.
Do you want me to hit the drop for you again?
Can I? Oh my god. It's my birthday! Thank you.
Well, happy birthday to you as well.
Thank you very much. Hitting the late 30s here.
One more thing that I do want to talk about that we kind of have to talk about before we get into the episode itself. Spoiler warning, this episode introduces the Sailor Starlights.
Yeah.
And that means that we are going to have a conversation about pronouns.
Okay, let's do it.
I was, like, again, I have never seen any of Stars. I know very little about these characters, although I am currently looking at the RPG book to see when their birthdays are.
Are they in it?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm shocked.
Seiya's birthday is July 30th, which is the same as my wife. Yeah.
Cool.
I think that's all. That's all I got.
There's 3 of them. So
Leo season, baby.
Or more.
So I wasn't sure if we should, which, if you don't know, if you are also new to this, they are characters who present as male in their civilian identities and female when they are in their civilian identities as the Sailor Starlights. And I wasn't sure if we should go with just they, them pronouns for the whole thing. I did ask a couple people. I talked to Annie Creighton, frequent guest of the show, who was unsure. I talked to Juliet, who you might remember as our first guest, Juliet Kahn, ever. And I feel like, and this is what I told her, I feel like we kind of have to do what the show does, which is in their civilian identities, like, they are referred to by other characters, and I think maybe even by themselves with male pronouns.
I believe so.
Whereas in their Sailor Scout identities as the Sailor Starlights, they are referred to as female pronouns. And so I think that's what we're gonna have to do. If that is, like, I've asked around, I've looked around, I don't know if there is another thing that is commonly accepted when discussing Sailor Moon. Also, I made a joke when I was talking to Juliet. I was like, why isn't this show for babies from 1997 helping me out on this?
Yeah.
But I feel like that is maybe the best way to do it. If it's not, please let us know, because I obviously don't want to alienate anyone or get anything wrong on this, but I do feel like that's kind of what the show does, and therefore what we need to do, if that makes sense.
So here's the thing about that, and I agree. I agree with your assessment. I agree with your assessment and your feelings. I don't think it's been a while since I watched this again, but does the show go into it at all?
It doesn't. That's kind of
Right.
like what's a little difficult, because the manga. I was saying this earlier too. In the manga, I believe they are physically female always. They just present as male when they're civilian. But in the anime, they're actually physically male and then turn physically female. Like, there's an episode where you see, like, their bare chests and they're like males. So I think that makes it actually more complicated.
And I don't think they talk about like that fact. They don't talk about it in any capacity, which is weird.
No, they just go like, "Oh, you guys are the Starlights, okay," and that's kind of like the whole conversation about it.
Which I think gives credence to using they them pronouns as kind of being the easiest and safest option, but I'm not sure if that's the correct one. So again, like, apologies to anyone if we do get this wrong, but please let us know. Please write in sailorbusinesspodcast@gmail.com or hit us up on Twitter @sailorbusiness. I know we've had people not necessarily warning us is the wrong word, but they have been alerting us to this fact. And I do think it's really interesting that as each season of Sailor Moon has gone on, it has introduced more and more characters who are gender nonconforming in completely different ways. So it has been like it's very interesting to look at this show that is in that respect like so forward thinking and so progressive for the late 90s, but a lot of this terminology was not in, you know, common parlance, especially among like fans of anime, you know, people who watch cartoons for a living, which I don't think was a job that existed in 1997. But the terminology is kind of catching up with the show, and the show is kind of catching up with the terminology at the same time. So again, let us know. Otherwise, I think that's what we're going to do. Thumbs up on that?
Yep, that sounds great. Yeah. Follow the show.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, makes sense to me. I mean, I guess so, and especially considering now did you get the Blu-rays of this yet or no?
I do actually have the Blu-rays.
So you watched the dub?
Yes.
Yeah, I did as well.
Okay, I see. I watched the subs. So I mean, again, the fact that the people making the show obviously would have had to wrestle with this as well, and that's whatever they came to, I guess, is the thing that we should probably go with.
Yeah, which is also why I am specifying that I've never seen these before. So if there is a reveal later on, like, you know, there was an episode where they called Haruka a handsome boy ?
Right.
And then obviously she's not.
Right.
But if that comes later, I'll see it then. We'll talk about it on the show. I can adjust as we go forward. But I haven't seen it. Deanna, you watched it. When was the last time you watched the whole season?
Probably last year.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it would be fresh in your mind.
Yes, I do a rewatch every once in a
Nice.
while. Yeah, no, I think you're going to be pretty okay with it.
Okay. Jordan, I know you don't have a lot of memory of this season. It's been a while.
Yeah, I have the broad strokes, but not the details, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only ever seen it once, and it was the first season I ever watched in Japanese, because when I watched the show before, I watched the dubs, and there was no dub at the time of this.
No, I think that's pretty good. I think you'll be okay going that way forward. I don't think there's a big change or a big reveal that would affect how we're talking about them.
Okay. And we have talked before about how Japanese as a language has gender-neutral pronouns that are in common usage, which is why they were able to make, like, Samus Aran was a reveal in Metroid, and Sifa Belnades was a reveal in Castlevania 3, which are my points of reference for using gender-neutral pronouns. But yeah, that is what we're going to do going forward.
Does that mean they blew it in the American versions?
I think they just didn't. I mean, this would have been like an instruction manual, so I think they just didn't mention it.
Okay.
But I feel like in Castlevania, in Metroid, I know it was a reveal at the end. In Castlevania, I don't think it was. I think it's just like Sifa takes her cowl off at the end of the game, and you're like, yeah, right. Of course.
Nice hair.
So yeah, with that, I think you want to go ahead and get into the episode?
I do.
Oh, and I was going to save that, since we did mention it, I was going to save this for the act break, but listener Soso Sundere did buy me the Blu-ray set. So thank you so much. And I don't know if this was the reason, but it's my birthday. So thank you very much.
Nice.
All right, here we go with Sailor Moon, Sailor Stars. I don't even think I mentioned this at the top, but this is episode 173. And I do think it is, while we're kind of still on the subject of the gender language in this issue, or in this episode, the direct translation is a goodbye and an encounter, the destiny of flowing stars. The translation that Viz uses for the new dub is farewells and encounters, the transitioning stars of destiny. And like, I feel like there's definitely a reason they're using the word transitioning in there.
Yeah. Otherwise, it would be a weird coincidence.
Yes, it's a thing they've thought about, clearly.
Yes.
But this episode was written by Ryota Yamaguchi, a familiar name to us. It was directed by Tsuguya Igarashi, and the animation director was Yoshihiro Kitano. It originally aired on May 11th, 1996. But if it had been brought over to America in the late 90s, obviously our pals at Deke or Cloverway would have had to create a title for it. So before we get into the episode, Deanna, you have a title, I know.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's a little bit spoilery for people for the episode, but I would just call it "Finished Fiance."
Whoa,
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's like, yeah, sorry, Mama.
That's a good one. Finished Fiance is a very good one. Jordan, do you have one?
I'm trying to think of something that involves the fact that there are so many new sailors.
That's where I went with mine.
Oh, let's hear yours then.
Mine is Sailor Scout Showdown.
There you go.
Oh, nice.
There you go. I think is there already an episode named Hey There Sailor?
That's like what I wanted to
so.
call it, a wild hair, and you yelled at me.
Well, if there isn't one called Hey There Sailor, I want there to be. So I would call it that.
All right, so where do we open? Kick us off, Jordan.
All right, well, we start in a darkened hallway where three mysterious gentlemen with ridiculous ponytails are walking towards a
Sailor Moon standards, they all have short hair. Because it's only down to their backs. It's nowhere near as long as Ray's or
Are you right about that? I feel like they have. I mean, it's to the bottom of their backs.
Not as long as Ray's.
Okay, not as long as Ray's because it doesn't cover their butts. You're right.
I mean, like, by Sailor Moon standards, like, Ami has a buzz cut.
It's longer than Jupiter's. And, I mean, listen, we're going to talk about their hair a lot. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I'm like, what would actually happen if they take it out of their ponytails? Because it seems like they have, like, short hair and then just one long rat tail at the back of their head.
They have mullets. They have giant,
pop star mullets.
Ridiculous mullets.
Yeah, they have fashion mullets.
Okay, is that what they call them?
Fashion mullets to go with their fashion suits.
My wife suggested that she was asking if their ponytails function like the Na'vi, where they can plug them into things and meld with them and stuff.
That's the only time anyone has referenced Avatar
ever in history. I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're walking down a dark hallway and they're like, "Are we going to find her?" And then they're like, "Yeah, of course we will. That's what we're going to do."
Yeah, this is very much like every season about someone looking for someone and we're not supposed to know who it is, and it's very obviously Sailor Moon.
Wait, let's just double check. Has it ever not been Sailor Moon?
The Moon Princess was Sailor Moon.
Definitely.
Let's see, what were they looking for in R? They were mostly looking for Chibi, I guess.
Chibi was looking for the silver crystal, and then the bad guys were looking for Chibi.
Yeah, and the silver crystal, Sailor Moon has it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're looking for the I guess
Holy Grail.
Looking for the Holy Grail, who is Sailor Moon.
No, they're looking for the Messiah, who is Sailor Moon.
Right.
Yeah, it's always
Supers...
Sailor Moon. It's 100% of the time it's Sailor Moon.
Wait, aren't they looking for Chibi and Supers?
Well, they're looking for a Pegasus that's inside Chibi.
Right.
And I guess Chibi's mini moon goes.
She's a Sailor Moon.
But there was some other thing about. Well, at any rate, yeah. Listen, you're absolutely right. The fact is, they're like, "Are we going to find her?" And it's like, "Oh, they mean Sailor Moon." Like, obviously.
Well, guys.
Yes.
Season 5 is the season that breaks the mold. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Wait, is it not Sailor Moon? Because
let's find out
in this episode. It sure does seem like it's Sailor Moon.
Well, let's keep watching.
All right,
exactly.
So these three characters are the three lights.
Well, we don't know that yet.
Yeah, we see them on stage.
Oh, it's right there.
Oh, right. It does cut after the transit. After
after we get the title, we get to the three lights performing on stage on their World Tour 1996.
Right.
Guys, in that scene, is that Molly? Is that Naru? The back of Naru's head?
It looks like the back of her head, for sure.
Did we get to see Molly one last time?
That does look like Naru.
Yeah,
I think it's her.
I was like, yay! So that's all I wanted to say. I was like, Naru.
I was a little disappointed by this scene because I immediately thought we were going to hear their hit song, and then we don't, and I was really bummed.
Yeah, they have to build up the excitement So when they finally perform it, you're like, yes!
I can't wait. I
Because
cannot wait.
it's a masterpiece of 90s Japanese
I
pop.
cannot wait. I cannot wait.
Yeah. So they are apparently wildly popular, and they all have flowers, which is, but not roses.
Aren't they
They
roses?
don't- oh, wait, no, I guess,
Yeah.
who's that? That's Seiya has a red rose.
I think they're all roses.
But, well, a red rose like Tuxedo Mask has,
Oh.
I guess I should say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they
They
all
all have different color
a yellow
roses.
rose, a white rose, and a
rose.
red rose. Yeah.
And a red rose. If only there was some kind of sign that red roses might be significant for the life of Sailor Moon, and she might be losing out on her source of red roses. Who's taking care of the plants? Well, we'll get to it.
We'll get to it.
So we cut to Fruit
Parlor, they fixed it. They fixed it. And the girls are talking about the Three Lights.
Yes.
They're reading a Three Lights magazine.
Yeah, it's like the official fan mag.
Yeah. I'm not questioning it.
Yeah.
And they are all swooning over different ones. Mina is in love with Seiya. He's the lead singer. He's got dark black hair.
He's got that wild, dangerous air about him.
He does. He very
Which
much does.
I'm not sure how that is conveyed. He does not look wild or dangerous, but okay.
I don't know. He's got a crazy look in his eye. I don't know.
Yeah.
Rei is into Yaten, who has the unapproachable beauty.
That's true. Now which one is he?
He's a Sephiroth type, if you know what I'm getting at.
I don't know what that means.
I know.
He's got white hair.
The listeners
That means
do,
he has
it's
a
fine.
big sword. He has a big sword. That's what that means.
He's got white hair. Also, I do want to call your attention to Artemis's face during this scene. It's wonderful.
Yes.
He's so disappointed in them.
When we first go into this scene, for a second, I thought Ami had Luna stuffed down her shirt. I mean, if you go look at it, like, because the progress bar, I'm watching it on Hulu as we record, and the progress bar was kind of covering up where you can see that Luna's sitting on Ami's lap, and so it's just like Luna's head kind of poking out of Ami's bow.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I was like, oh, living Jordan's dream of wearing a cat as
Oh.
accessories.
Oh, okay. I thought you were.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to go a completely different way with that, but
No.
okay. You're dreaming about being in Ami's shirt.
That's what it sounded like.
No. Jordan always wants to wear a cat.
Yes.
That's all.
Yes.
Very good.
Cats as clothing is adorable. None of my cats were ever. They never were like the type to be draped around your body. No, they did not want to be held very much.
All right, now here's how you know the Three Lights are ridiculously popular.
Right.
Even Ami's into it.
Yeah, they do a nice fake out where Ami
Yeah.
goes, "Oh yeah, that's ridiculous that you're into what's his name, the middle one.
Yaten.
That's ridiculous being into Yaten."
You're forgetting the intellectual and wonderful Taiki. His refined maturity.
His big ass forehead.
The cool way he carries himself is so nice.
Did you say big ass forehead?
His big ass forehead. Did you see that? You can land a plane on that thing. It's like
It's a big
I
forehead.
don't know. It's like Ami. No, you can do so much better.
And I will say they all have ridiculous hair because Seiya has very, very short hair and then the giant ponytail. Yaten has maybe chin length hair and then a giant ponytail. Taiki probably has the most ridiculous hair because without the ponytail he'd have a mullet.
True.
And then additionally, here's a ponytail.
Look, it's look,
And
it's
the yellow suit. Oh, it's just
it's boy band up front, Sailor Scout in the back.
wow.
I guess that's probably, although again, Ami doesn't have a ponytail, but all right.
Yeah, it's like the intellectual haircut, I guess.
Apparently.
Have to show off those brains.
And honestly, they're all in love with all of them.
Except Usagi, who is depressed.
Yeah, they ask her,
Aw.
who do you prefer? And she's like, Mamo-chan.
Mama.
Yeah.
Why is she so depressed, Chris?
Because Mamo's thesis was good enough. His thesis on, I guess, horticulture, right? Like, is that what we decided he was majoring in?
Yeah, I guess. Do they grow a lot of roses in America? I guess probably.
It's a big country, Jordan.
Sure.
It's a very large country. Yes,
No,
we grow
I'm not-
roses here.
I'm not asking if roses can be grown in the United States. I'm asking if we're like a destination for roses. If you're like,
Let's
where are the
see.
best roses from? Well, United States.
I don't know, maybe it's about rose genetics and crossbreeding and something more sciencey like that? I don't know.
The rose was designated the official flower and floral emblem of the United States of America in 1986. It grows naturally throughout North America.
Okay, so the answer is yes. So he's going to go study the yellow rose of Texas.
Or maybe Mamoru is getting a scholarship from the Democratic Socialists.
No, he's going to go to study the yellow rose of Texas.
Solidarity with the workers. Memo-chan's finally putting his money to good use.
His dead parent money.
So he has told Usagi, he has asked her to a bridge, which is where you need to have these dramatic conversations.
Sailor Moon is bridge. We need drama, we need a conversation, we need a bridge.
Well, it was either that or an elevator.
That's right. That's where they have all their conversations. He says he's going to be gone for a year, maybe longer. And Usagi is very hey, it's just a year. I'll be fine. I'll miss you, but I'll always love you. Also, we know canonically for a fact in the future we will be married and have a weird 900-year-old child. So not sweating it.
But she's not here anymore, so we don't know if she started blinking in pink.
That's very true.
And I actually really like this because she does mention, I think it's a little bit later in the episode, she's like, man, first Chibi goes back to the future, now Mamoru is going to America. Boy, there are a lot of cast changes in this show.
I think the girls mention it. They're like, oh, what a terrible time for that to happen to her.
Yeah.
No, but I do love how mature she's being about it here. It was a little surprising because usually she'd be like, nah, rah, 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 rah.
Yeah.
But she's being sad, but she's like, oh no, it's his dream, I'll support him. And that's the Usagi I love.
Although I will say, shouldn't this be like an Ami situation? Shouldn't they be like, stop your fucking dreaming, you have tuxedo mask business? Obviously you're.
But that was when they were in middle school. Now they're in high school, okay? They know better.
Yeah, do they have tuxedo mask business though?
Yeah,
okay. So let me think about it. So what's happening is they're sitting there going, in the future you're going to be a layabout king. You're going to want to know about roses. That's all you're going to want to do.
Yeah.
We know that he does rose stuff in the future.
Does he?
Yeah, because Endymion has roses
in the future.
Yeah.
All right.
Doesn't he wear a lavender rose?
Probably.
Or am I completely redesigning his costume so it makes more sense in my own head?
He might, but he's also the king of the world, so he could have just been like, get me a lavender rose.
I mean, that is true.
But I guess he did it himself in his free time because she's like, why don't you go busy yourself with some flowers?
Well, the other thing too is, guys, remember, without Amy or Ami, they cannot do Sailor Teleport. But without the mask, it's whatever.
We were informed, by the way. A listener wrote in to inform us that in the manga they can, in fact, just straight up fly.
Yes, they do fly around.
Well, they can't in the anime.
They do frequently, but okay.
Not frequently, infrequently they do. And also, they could do Sailor Teleport without Ami as long as they have a quorum. They have to have a different scout. And apparently, spoilers, there's a lot of scouts around.
Yeah.
Buddy?
The play is lousy with them.
So this is great. This is drama. This is emotional drama, and I love it. Usagi is very concerned about this because of course she's sad, but she doesn't want to ruin this for Mamo because it's important to him. And so she says, I need to see him off with a smile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very sweet.
Absolutely.
So then she goes to the airport and they do a love actually.
Wait. No. Hold on. Other thing happens first, which is an important scene with Luna, where Luna comes by and goes, hi, remember me? I know I haven't been in it that much since your daughter replaced me, I guess.
Remember the first episode when I was around all the time?
Yeah. And she literally does the kind of classic people talking about Usagi. You remember when we met and you sucked? Well, you don't suck that bad now, and I'm really proud of you.
Yep, pretty much. It's remember how annoying you were? Remember what they hated you?
I kind of like that though, because it is
it's cute. It's cute.
Well, like we said, there has been a progression of Usagi's character, and I really like that it's kind of come back around this point where she's like, no, I have to be strong and not be a crybaby about Mamoru going, and someone has to step in and remind her, no, it's okay to be sad. when your boyfriend goes away for a year. Like that's, like remember Andrew? Andrew was sad when this literal exact thing happened to him. So
yes, this literal exact thing.
And you tried to steal him away from his girlfriend, and she was flying away. So maybe that's what she's thinking of. Is like, darn it, it's karma.
Well, that could never happen. Nothing like that could happen on this show. So now they go to the airport.
Yeah, Usagi goes to the airport and she starts crying. She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying to send you off with a smile." And then Mamoru gets out. I thought we were going to get a proposal.
It is.
I mean, you kind of do.
You kind of do.
Yeah, but Mom was lame, and that's like the best he can muster. You think he's gonna go down on his knees and wrinkle his
he
black?
drops to his knee, but he's like putting down his suitcase.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, but
not super thoughtful.
Again, though, she is 16, right? 15? 16?
16. Well, this is still May, so she's 15.
Okay.
Wow. So
almost 60.
So this is him going. This is like I promise to be engaged to you. It's a pre-engagement.
It's promise ring.
It's a promise ring.
True love waits.
But he puts it on.
She's going to sign her virginity pledge.
Well, I mean, I think didn't we? It's too late, I think, but it's on her wedding ring finger.
Your wedding ringer.
Yeah.
Wedding ringer.
Wedding ringer. No, I do believe it's supposed to be an engagement ring, but it's safe for Mamo because he's like, I'll give her this. I'm gonna be gone for a year and a half. I don't have to hear about it. And then when I'll come back, she'll be closer to legal and it'll be all good.
And I mean, it's not a diamond, but we'll say that.
It's a heart. It looks like he got it out of a gumball machine.
Okay.
He probably did.
No.
It looks like a cat backflipped and then there it was.
It's very Usagi. And he knows what she likes.
Yeah, she likes pink jewelry. The other thing about this scene that I want to talk about is that he's there like, well, all right, I guess I'm going to go. And then she shows up. She's like, hey. And he's like, oh, good. And I was kind of like, did they not make plans to say goodbye at all?
He was carrying this wedding ring in his pocket, just in case.
Because he does say, I thought you wouldn't be here because of school.
Right.
So he wasn't expecting her.
Right. Like,
yeah, I don't know. Maybe he had another girlfriend he was going to propose to, and she showed up. And he was like, "Damn it!"
He was like, "First woman I see is getting a ring." Thank God it was Usagi. Yeah. So she gets this ring, and we cut back to the parlor. First of all, they kissed for uncomfortably long. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, we don't cut back to the parlor. We get because we get a lot of stuff before we cut away from this.
Oh, do we? Okay, let's hear it.
Yeah, we get the three lights arrive.
Oh, right, Tokyo. I forgot about that. I'm sorry.
And walk past.
And then there is a swing woman.
They walk past Usagi and Mamoru through their throng of adoring girls, and we get like that little like when someone walks past somebody and they like do the little like little freeze frame thing.
Yep.
Then those sparks
with blinding light, Seiya and Usagi. Or Usagi, does she look at him or does he just look at her?
He looks at her.
She looks at him, but she looks at him like she looks over her shoulder, kind of being like, "Oh, who's this?" And he goes, "Oh my god!"
And then we get we don't get a watercolor here though, so they're not
blinding light.
Not that attractive.
We get blinding light.
We get blinding light, but we don't get the.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. And then we get someone who is obviously our villain, who I don't know who this is.
Well, I will tell you, you have experienced this character in the sense that this is the voice that you've been hearing all season.
Okay.
The voice that woke up on the Helenia.
Yeah, this is the voice that was like taunting her, going like, "Are you going to take that shit?"
Okay. All right.
Just wanted to let you know.
And she wants to conquer the Milky Way by raising the star seeds. So, standard Sailor Moon plot.
Yep. No MacGuffin.
Some people have something inside them that's going to turn them into monsters. It's whatever. And Mamoru gets... Does the plane explode?
He exploded.
So a light flies into the plane. He's sitting there gazing lovingly at a picture of his family, meaning Usagi and Chibi. And a blinding light flies right into the plane at him, and then blinding light streams out of the plane in all directions, and then we cut to the three lights going, whoop, another starseed's out.
Yep, they felt a disturbance in the force.
Yep.
Broke the guitar string.
An entire plane's worth of people cried out, and then were silenced.
It definitely looks like Memoru's plane explodes, and that's a serious wrap on Memoru. Memoru has exploded.
We will have to see. I mean, like you said, we know he marries her in the future, so I don't know how that could possibly work. Let's watch and find out.
Well, and that leads us right into our
That's
act
the act
break.
break. Oh my god. Stars.
Hey, Jordan.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we've done this show.
It has. It's very true.
It's probably been has it been over a month? I feel like it might be.
It's been either a month or over a month. I'm not 100% sure when this episode's going to go up.
So people might not remember how they can help support the show. Yeah.
I know I don't. Oh, wait.
Oh,
I've got
relying on you to
I've
tell
got
them.
it. I just remembered.
Okay.
What it is we have a site. Well, we don't have a site, but there is a site called Patreon. If you go to patreon.com/sailorbusiness, you can there sign up and pledge to be one of our patrons for as little as $1 a month, which absolutely helps us make this show. For $1 a month, you are a great supporter, and we love you. For $5 a month, you also get access to behind-the-scenes audio every once in a while when there's a good compilation of them. For $15 a month, you can get a free enamel pin of one of the two that we've got.
It's not free. You are giving us $15 a month.
Well, the pin is free. Our patronage is $15 a month.
Okay, you get a pin.
You're not buying a pin.
The upshot.
Yeah,
here.
but you get it. We have two currently. We have the Tennis Ball Sailor Moon pin, and we have the Act Sorry Luna pin.
Both designed by Katie Donnelly, who is fantastic.
So cool.
They're
Former
amazing.
guest of the show.
I have them both. I recommend them. They are the coolest things ever.
And I think is it about time to start working on the third one? I feel like
I don't know if we're gonna do it. Like, look, I don't know who decided that we were gonna do a new pin every year. Did we decide that?
Yeah. Well, obviously not every year because it's been a lot of years.
It's been a while, yeah. But if you do, we could always add a third pin for supporters.
I mean, you've already got it designed.
We do have the Xena pin designed. Yeah. But if you if you have any ideas on pins that you would like to see here at Business Industries, Sailor Business, Xena Warrior Business, let us know.
Yeah.
But yes, you can go to Patreon and kick in a little bit of money, just like these fine folks. Two Cat, Too Curious.
Thank you, Two Cat.
Is at the pin level.
Nice.
Sailor Mouth, which I think is maybe a character in this season.
Thank you, Sailor Mouth.
This might be my favorite Patreon name in a while. Edison versus Lubin 1903.
Okay, thank you, Edison.
Edison v. Lubin 1903. So,
much appreciated.
A court case from 116 years ago is now supporting us on Patreon.
That's terrific.
Tracy Shepard, fantastic artist Tracy Shepard.
Oh, thank you, Tracy.
Listening. Yeah. Brendan is a backer.
Thank you, Brendan.
And Lisa Hoffman.
Much appreciated, Lisa.
Yeah, thank you, everyone, for your support here on the show. And we are going to be back with some Chibi-sodes soon. And again, if you are the patrons, and even if you are just a listener, but I think we would give preferential treatment to the patrons on this one. If you have a suggestion for a Chibi-sode idea that you'd like to hear us talk about, I would be happy to take them. Have we ranked the villains? I think we ought to rank the villains.
I think we might have. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
If we haven't, we should. It'd be nice if we knew what we did on our own show.
Yeah, it would be nice. I don't remember that.
But who knows? No one can say.
There's no way to find out.
No way.
What are we going to listen to the old episodes? Get out of here.
Yeah. I was here for all of them.
No. You were not.
No, I wasn't. Yeah. I was here for most of them.
The large bulk, yes. So I have two things we could talk about really briefly in the break before we get back, because they're relevant to the episode, but not necessarily specific scenes in the episode. First of all, is as much as I love the show, and again, I love this episode. I'm so excited that we're back to the style of Sailor Moon that I love, not having Chibi around, but also the feel of it as well. I think it's really funny and ridiculous that this show never, I don't want to say never, because like I said, that villain did talk earlier in the season, but they almost never engage in any foreshadowing, even when it would have been really easy. In this episode, we are establishing the three lights are super famous. why don't you just mention him? Why don't you just mention him in the bunch? Even if you want to say, well, we didn't know until this season. Yeah, but you did all those episodes earlier in the season. Why not just bring them up? In much the same way that back when we were like rewriting the earlier seasons, I was like, yeah, just put Alan and Anne in earlier before you find out they're bad guys. And it was like, oh yeah.
That would require people to pay attention. Jordan is the thing.
It would be so much cooler, though. It would be so much cooler. Like if we, again, spoiler for the fact that a song exists, if we were to hear their song earlier, that would, like, before we know they're relevant to anything, that would have been so cool. But whatever.
Yeah, it would have been cool.
The other thing is, tell me your thoughts on this. Why do you mentioned Starseeds being the new MacGuffin? Do we need a new MacGuffin every time? Like, is there a benefit to it being a different mystical who's-he what's-it that comes out of people every episode, every season? Or would it have been better to just go, no, they're all after the same thing?
I don't know. I mean, they need a reason for the people to turn into monsters, and they think we might get too bored if it's the same thing over and over. I don't know. We need the monster of the week, so now we're taking people's seed. They're coming for your seed.
In my head, I feel like the best way to go about this would be to just like maybe there's just some Yoma just living in Tokyo now. Like, because, you know, like, they used to have a job, then Queen Beryl got vaporized by the power of friendship, and now there's just, like, you know, a neighborhood full of,
well,
I don't know, ironing board people.
In that specific case, didn't all those Yoma all live in the Ark?
They did live at Point D, yes, that is true.
So at best, they're, like, in Alaska.
Yeah.
There's like a Northern Exposure type show about all the Yoma moving to Alaska.
That's a hot reference for the kids.
Thank you. I understand that you can see Point D from Alaska. How's that reference? You like that one?
Wow. You know, it's a fresher reference than Northern Exposure, so got that going for it. Yeah, like I really wish the show was a little more thought out, because, like, again, there's so much filler in this show. Like, even in this season, the fight against Nehelenia did not need to last 6 episodes. And I enjoyed those episodes, but even I will agree with that.
Yeah.
They're trying to meet a quota. Like, you can tell. So it's like, at least here is a little bit more fun. Like, I love the bad guys. Like, these are my favorite bad guys. Like, the sailors, the evil sailors are my favorite. And if you like evil guys that just do it because it's a job, then you're really gonna like later on Lead Crow and Aluminum Siren. So, like, I
can only assume you're making those names up.
No, there's Sailor Lead Crow and Sailor Aluminum Siren. And they have a pretty cool relationship. So it's kind of nice to have time to explore all that, but it does get a little repetitive, especially when you're, like, binging it. It gets to a point when you're like, OMG, I get it.
I mean, because, like, yeah, even with the Nehelenia stuff taken out of the season, and I don't mean taken out, I mean as in behind us, we still have 28 episodes of this plot, which is longer than an American season. It's longer than an American season back when American seasons were long.
It's longer than, like, a season of Star Trek.
Right. Let alone, like, nowadays when everything is, like, 10 to 13 episodes.
Yeah. But yeah, I think you're right. I can't, like, I have some things to talk about with these evil Sailor Scouts, so I think we should get back into it.
Okay, let's do it.
Just a reminder.
Thank you.
Just a
reminder. Forgotten, thank you.
Me and Deanna. And also I know exactly when Jordan's is, and he doesn't know when mine is. It's fine.
I know now for the next, like, day.
Exactly. Next month he'll be like, what was that again? Don't know. Not important, out of my head.
So now we cut to the parlor where the scouts are immediately aware of what happened with this ring situation. And we find out that Usagi is a little clueless.
She has no idea. This is the only girl that can get accidentally engaged and have no idea what happened.
Yeah, they are all like, it's on your left ring finger. That means, and they're like, what? Or she's like, what does it mean? What does it mean? Now, I will say, I kind of feel like, oh, are you guys shocked that they're going to get married when you've met them in the future married and their daughter?
Yeah, but it's happening.
Yeah.
Right in front of them. Like, those people were different people. Like, you know that it's them, but it's different people. They look slightly different. But now it's like actual crybaby Usagi with a ring. That's pretty shocking.
I mean, she is only 15.
Yeah. Let's stop talking about that.
Rei's pissed off that Usagi doesn't understand she's engaged. And Usagi's response is, I'm prettier than you.
That has not changed. I like that they go like, even a cat understands, and Luna's like, I'm a girl too. She wants to get married. She's fallen in love with a human before.
That's true. It's true.
And a cat. So
no, she settled for a cat.
Yeah, she did.
Oh, we got a I was gonna say this when we were reading emails, but we did get a picture from our German friends who do the German Sailor Moon podcast, who went to a convention and they were there with they met up with another person, and apparently 3 people constitutes 75% of the German language Sailor Moon podcasting community. And she was wearing a Rhett Butler hoodie.
Whoa! What?
Which is amazing.
Did you say? But did she make it, or did she buy it somewhere?
I don't know. I would like to know.
Okay.
Because maybe I'll get Jordan a present for his birthday on December 18th.
Me too. That's the cutest thing. You can have your cat and be a cat and be adorable.
Yeah, I would be a big. I mean, listen. If I was a cat, I'd be a Rhett Butler, I'm sure.
Agreed.
Yes.
I mean, Chris, that means you have to be Artemis. Sorry.
No, I would be Zoocyte in that episode.
Zoocyte, not a cat.
You'll be covered in rats.
Wearing a mech made of rats.
Yes. Oh my god. I wonder if anybody's cosplayed Rat Cover Suicide.
Please, sailorbusinesspodcast@gmail.com. Hit us up if you have cosplayed as rat mech Zoocyte.
And if you haven't, get on it.
Please do
or
it.
any Zoocyte, really. I fucking love Zoocyte.
But if you just get like a bunch of tribbles and just like glue them to yourself, yeah.
Please send us your group cosplay of that one specific episode of Sailor Moon that Sailor Moon is barely in.
I love it.
Rhett Butler and Rat Cover Suicide.
Well, there's Rhett Butler, there's Luna, there's Zoocyte, and there's horny Sailor Jupiter staring up Ami's skirt.
Yeah,
that's in that episode.
Find a little a very small alleyway and jam a Mercury and a Jupiter in there. Sure.
Yeah.
Make sure to do a panty shot, and then we'll be happy.
So the 3 lights are shooting their new video.
No.
Movie.
Yes.
It's a movie.
Yes.
I love the girls bouncing, like popping up like whack-a-moles behind the crowd. It's very cute. And like you said,
really twirl when she gets caught, when she just twirls and turns away, and it's the cutest thing. And it's so nice to see like a horny Ami, because like she's usually not.
That's true.
It's just to see her like, ooh, I want them. It is very cute.
Did you guys catch the name of this show that they're filming?
Yes. I saw that it was in your notes. It was in my notes too, because it's ridiculous.
It is called The Z-File of Young Holmes.
Yep. Great, honestly.
I want someone to write us that fanfic of what the Z-File of Young Holmes is.
About anything.
Do you think is it Sherlock Holmes? Is that the Young Holmes?
I think so. It's a young Sherlock Holmes, like, not doing the X-Files, but the files right after it. So
Two after.
Like, yes, they have like the X-Files monsters, but 2 right of center. I don't know.
And who's playing Young Holmes? Is Seiya Young Holmes?
I feel like I assumed Seiya was Young Holmes.
Okay.
He's not even in the filming though. He's like sleeping in the back.
Well, because he's the star, so.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just trying to imagine a young Sherlock Holmes story where he looks like Seiya, and it's ridiculous.
Where he looks like Seiya and he's investigating like Bigfoot.
Just going in the woods, yelling and screaming with night vision cameras. I also want to do a little bit of a fashion corner with their looks for this TV show, because I have no idea what Taiki's wearing.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I was gonna say, if you're going, hey, what vehicle can we get for our three-man boy group? Sherlock Holmes.
3-man boy group. That's what it's called.
Well,
because you got Holmes, Watson, and Lestrade.
Oh, so one of the members has to be the dipshit? I'm gonna play the dipshit.
Yeah, it's like this podcast.
Wait. There's 3. I might be the dipshit.
No, you're
It's
Watson.
Jordan.
No,
Don't worry.
no.
I explicitly stated it's Jordan.
No, incorrect. Besides, with this
something else.
mustache, I'm Watson, obviously. Go ahead.
Oh, that's true. But something else. Did you guys realize that Taiki, Yaten, and Seiya, those are not their first names, those are their last names?
No.
Yes, their first names is Ko. All 3 of them have the exact same first name.
K-O?
No, it's K-O-U.
K-O-U. Wow.
Yeah.
Hang on. I'm opening up the Sailor Moon role-playing game and resource book from Guardians of Order.
And that Ko means light, and that's why they're the 3 lights.
Oh.
Because they all 3 have the same first name.
So wait, so basically, like, if this was an American group, they'd be like the 3 Mikes.
Yes! It would be 3 people named Mike with different lessons.
Yeah. Ko Taiki, Ko Seiya, and Ko
Yaten.
Yaten, yeah.
Yeah, I just thought that was... And for no reason, really. They don't explain it.
Taiki is enormous. He's so tall.
Would you like to know how tall?
Yes,
I
please.
do. I want to know, yes.
How much taller do you think he is than Sailor Moon?
Then Sailor Moon? I don't know. He looks like he's a foot taller than Yaten.
He's the tallest of them by far, according to the book.
Is he 2 feet taller than Sailor Moon?
He is. I'm making sure. Sailor Moon's 5 even or 4'11.
Oh, good question.
Let's see.
I thought she was under 5.
Let's see. Sailor Moon is 4'11.
Yeah.
So Taiki is 13 inches taller than Sailor Moon. Taiki is 6'2".
Wait, so is Yaten really short?
Yaten, I believe, is 5'5".
Oh, they look so thin and tall that I did not know I was taller than Yaten.
Yeah. Again, I'm getting out the book so that I can look all this up. Flip. So yeah, he's the same height as Tuxedo Mask. Actually, Darien is 6'2". Mamoru 6'2", according to the book.
And what about Seiya?
Seiya is... Let's see. So Pluto, Sailor Saturn. Here we go. Sailor Starlights. Seiya is 5'5".
What?
No.
Taiki is 6'2", and Yaten is 5'0". 5'0". I had that backwards.
Okay, so Yaten is quite short.
Yes.
He's only an inch taller than Usagi?
Yeah.
That's
Well,
weird.
again, that's what I was saying it because there's a shot on the set of Yaten and Taiki standing next to each other, and Taiki looks a foot taller than Yaten, which apparently he is.
It's correct. And he's also wearing some sort of giant shapeless smock with yellow pants.
Which makes Sailor Star Maker the tallest Sailor Scout by far.
Yeah.
Because the runner-up here would be Haruka, who is 5'8".
Wow.
Yeah, even taller than Setsuna, who I think looks taller.
Yeah,
But that might be just because she's dressed like an adult every time she shows up.
It might be her ponytail.
Maybe.
Oh, the big bun on top of her head.
Yeah.
And of course, shortest Sailor Scout is Saturn at 3'9".
Wait,
Oh my
no.
God. Like
Chibi
present
Moon.
or like baby one?
Chibi Moon is shorter than Saturn.
Is she?
Yes.
Well, no, in S, Chibi was shorter than Saturn, but I think now that Saturn was a baby and grew up, she's not taller than Chibi anymore.
Well, that's yeah.
Because time.
Does this game have stats for the Sailor Starlights and not Chibi?
Yay!
That's weird.
Hey, speaking of buns, Sailor Moon touches a lot of them in this scene.
Speaking of buns.
It's because the scouts basically just are like, they're tired of jumping up and down behind this crowd.
Yeah.
Jordan, you will appreciate this.
Let's hear it.
Chibiusa is included in the Guardians of Order role-playing game book with the villains.
Accurate.
I think they might
she's between Prince Diamond and Wicked Lady.
Oh, I guess
Obviously, she's grouped with Wicked Lady.
I mean, I guess that just means they want her to be an NPC, but still.
Yeah.
So all the scouts start weaseling. They get down, like they crouch down, like on their knees, and like weasel their way through the crowd. Except Usagi's unable to do it, and ends up she does. It looks like she touches a lot of butts. It's very weird.
Cupping some butts. I noticed.
She is
like going in there.
No one reacts.
Nope. Oh my god! See, perfect cup, 2 cheeks.
It really does. It really looks like that.
Yeah.
So our favorite scouts are not the only ones watching all this go down. There is also some other weirdo here
in a tree,
dressed as a gangster.
Yep, like a 40s style
Yeah.
or 30s, or I don't even know when the gangsters were.
In a pinstripe suit with a fedora and mysterious glasses.
Yeah,
glowing evil glasses.
And she is talking about how they've attracted so many humans.
Oh, interesting. That's good to remember, actually.
I mean, if you have glowing eyes and you're up a tree, I'm gonna say you're probably not human. It's not really a reveal that she's not.
So Usagi is like giving up on trying to get
to commit some light trespassing.
Right. She sees that there's like a little the like place where all the trailers are, and it says "Do not go this way," and she's like, "I'm gonna go that way." But before she can, somebody goes, "You're not allowed to go there," and it's the biggest star of the film telling her not to go into his private area.
And she has no idea who that is.
She does not know him at all. She was too busy. Being upset about Mamo to fall in love with these guys. So she's actually sitting there going like, "Oh, maybe I'll meet the female lead of this because she's cool."
So he says, "I'm not as famous as I thought," and so he goes, "Save it." You should know I have a boyfriend to whom I've promised my future in a very literal sense.
Yeah, yeah. He recognizes her from the airport, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
From that brush past.
Yeah, it's hard to forget that hairstyle, though.
Is that true? I mean, again, I feel like I've been through a lot of airports, and I've seen plenty of attractive-looking people there, and I don't think I'd remember a single one of them. Anyway.
Yeah, but if you saw giant blonde pigtails with 2 balls right on top of it, I'm going to be like, I remember that girl.
Oh, and speaking of her telling off Seiya about having a boyfriend, I love the look on Luna's face while she does it. Luna is like, "Back off, Buster."
Is that what you think, Luna? Like, I think Luna looks exhausted.
Oh, I thought she was going like, "Fuck this guy," but I maybe I was mistaken.
No, I feel like Luna's like, ugh. Why? This is my lot in life.
Like, I thought you were matured.
So then Seiya walks away and starts going into the restricted area, and she's like, "That place is restricted," and he's like, "Yeah, I work with them," he says funnily.
I'm playing Holmes investigating the Z-Files.
Young Holmes, let's get real.
Young Holmes
in his bright orange, Sherlock Holmes' bright orange suit. And he's famous.
And then he calls her Bunhead.
He calls her Bunhead, and she's
only
like,
Mamo can say that.
And yeah, that is a good point, Usagi. They are recreating the classic season 1 Mamo Usagi relationship vibe with this scene, aren't they?
Oh, yes, they are. Could there be a triangle coming?
Well, no, because he's dead, right? So
it could be a lopsided triangle with a corpse.
R.I.P. Mamoru.
I guess to be fair, that's like, Cyclops, Emma Frost, and Jean for most of their existence as a triangle. She was dead, so there you go.
Are they gonna make out on top of Mamo's grave? That's gonna happen.
I hope so.
I don't know if I could dig that, my young heart.
All right. So while all this is going on, the lead actress, did you catch her name?
Alice.
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 Alice is being menaced by the gangster girl, who wants her crystal of life, her starseed, and then she rips off her disguise. And this, who is this?
It's Sailor Iron Mouse.
Iron Mouse.
Uh-huh.
Aren't you excited to meet her?
I mean, look, yeah.
Oh, wait,
sure.
Hold on. Sorry. Before we get to her reveal, I just want to point out that her sunglasses, she's wearing different sunglasses now. She was like, those sunglasses were good for sitting in a tree and watching from afar, but these are my confronting someone and looking over the brim of my sunglasses. Like,
these are her menacing sunglasses, not her lurking sunglasses, okay?
Right. The lurking sunglasses are polarized.
Sure, yes.
Because you need to protect your eyes from those harmful UV rays. You never know how long you're going to be lurking.
Exactly. The menacing have to have the half moon so you can look over them and look very intimidating.
Yeah. We'll get to her announcing her name in a second, but she takes Alice's starseed, which is I really like the way it's represented. She has like a little flower blossom on top of her head, and then a crystal comes out, so it's very Sailor Moon. It's the most Sailor Moon a thing can be.
Oh, by the way, I did, someone sent us a link to you can buy the mirrors that come out of people's chests.
Oh.
Can you shove your head into it and see your own dreams?
Presumably not.
Okay.
But they did recreate it pretty exactly, and it was nice. Anyway, wait, don't you want to talk about what Sailor Iron Mouse looks like?
Well, I wanted to get to Sailor Moon confronting her.
Okay, all right.
So Sailor Moon transforms. We get Moon Eternal makeup, which I really...
New animation.
Is this a new animation?
Yep.
I thought it was, because I didn't remember it. I really like it.
They're really doubling down on the feathers and the wings.
Yeah. When she has okay, so we get like a really cool like watercolory background and hexagons, moon stuff. And then we see Usagi with angel wings wrapped around her, and then the wings kind of unfurl and feathers come out, and we get the you know what Sailor Moon's transformation looks like at this point. Stuff wraps around her and becomes gloves and such. This is a good looking transformation. I think it looks fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I am all for the angel imagery of Sailor Moon having wings now.
And by the way, she doesn't have butt wings anymore. They got rid of them.
Yeah, she does.
They come out of when she's transforming.
Oh, she does at the end.
Normal, but at the end they're her bow. So they're butt wings because it's her bow. It's wings
right.
now. Her butt bow.
I meant when she actually has angel wings and she's swirling around and transforming, she doesn't have them. But you're right. At the end, she has the 4 wings, which is weird.
She gets her weird butterfly seraphim wings at the end.
But you're right. She has the wings on her chest instead of the bow as well. Like, so clearly they've just replaced all the bows with wings.
I have a question.
Which is weird.
If she could fly with those wings, would she just be like bent at the waist and just flying like butt first? And just looking down?
Like as if you picked her up by the waist. Yeah. Like, so like her legs and her body would all be bent down towards the ground. It would be ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm like, that doesn't look very aerodynamic.
So Sailor Moon says, who are you? And Sailor Iron Mouse says, I'm Sailor Iron Mouse. And Sailor Moon goes, what the fuck? And Luna goes, excuse me?
Yeah.
Because this name makes no sense. No, we should say Sailor Iron Mouse. You want to talk about what she looks like?
Yeah.
She got mouse ears.
She does have mouse ears on top of her head.
And she says "choo," which is Japanese onomatopoeia for what a mouse says. So she just goes "choo, choo, choo." That's kind of mouse.
Yeah, like Choo Choo Rocket.
Yeah. So I love her. She's so cute.
Her costume is super weird because again, sorry, these are sailors. But they all don't wear sailor uniforms anymore. They all wear like weird lingerie now.
I mean, you could say that this original Sailors is just sailor style lingerie.
Right, but they're called sailors, so you'd think that the part that's important to keep is the sailor part, not the lingerie part.
There's a sailor collar on. Maybe that's just the one thing that makes it a sailor uniform.
Does she? Let me look at this again.
I
guess kind of.
little.
It's furry though.
Thing. Well, she's a mouse.
She has I guess her sleeves are furry.
Yeah, lots of puffy furry. She's wearing earmuffs.
Yep.
Well, are they earmuffs? Because her ears are on top of her head.
Oh, well, they're covering up where her human ears would be for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe she wears them because she doesn't have ears, and she's like, "That's weird looking. Let me cover this up."
Let me put poofs in there instead. And then she pulls a Doctor Who, gets into, well, it's not really box, it's a telephone box.
First, she gives us, she also gives us some backstory not backstory, some exposition.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because the starseed drains, and she's like, "Oh, that was a shitty starseed this lady had. It's already drained. Well, I guess she's going to turn into a monster, or as they call them, phages." And
yeah, these are phages, which means things that eat.
Oh, okay, good call.
Yeah.
And so Sailor Moon's like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, man, sorry, like she's going to turn into a monster. That's how it goes. Like nothing you can do. Bye.
Peace out."
And she gets into her TARDIS. Absolutely.
So here's my thing. This season, okay, do we ever get a reason for why these weird named Sailor Scouts have weird names? Like Sailor Iron Mouse?
I mean, we find out why they're sailors, but
yeah, you'll see. Kind of.
Really why they have weird names.
Up to this point of the show, all the Sailor Scouts have been named after planets.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Sailor Moon and heavenly
Pluto.
bodies.
Oh, yeah.
And dwarf planets.
Yeah. Sailor Moon, Sailor Pluto, Sailor Mercury. You've heard of them, I'm sure.
Yes.
The season is called Sailor Stars.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Why aren't all the new sailors named after stars?
Great question.
Would that not make sense?
You know what? That's a good question. But let's just make sure that they aren't. Only in the sense that like Iron Mouse is a ridiculous phrase, but also I wouldn't be 100% shocked to hear that there was some asteroid named Iron Mouse or some shit.
Well, I believe all these sailors are from outside the galaxy, and they are.
I'm sorry?
They're from outside this galaxy, so there's planets that are different, that are not necessarily follow our naming conventions. I don't know if this is a spoiler, but there is one that comes from Luna and Artemis planet.
Oh.
And it's their sailor, and that's Sailor Tinyanko. And she is
my.
cat-like. So, yes, there's a reason why they're called that, but not very clearly explained, because I think Naoko Takeuchi just liked funny-sounding things. She's very poetic. So, but yeah, I love Tinyanko, and yes, she comes from planet Mao, which is where Luna and Artemis are from.
Hooray.
I mean, I kind of love that they're Sailor Iron Mouse and such, but also, this is 5 years of this naming convention. Explain yourself.
Yeah, it's like Metal Animal. Sailor Metal Animal. That's what we're doing.
Right. There's more to learn. But I don't know if it's going to be perfectly clear.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So she just, like I said, like Deanna said, she gets into her TARDIS and Doctor Who's away.
Yep.
Yes.
And she says, bye-bye.
Meanwhile, Alice has turned into like a karaoke monster.
Booty.
She's a singer.
A singer?
Yeah, well, I actually looked this up before because I was curious because it seemed very on the nose. And she keeps saying booty. And apparently booty is, of course, it's kind of punish. It means it's a species of Japanese yellowtail. So that's why she's fishy. And booty also is something that you say when you're being like obnoxiously cute.
Oh.
And like childish. So I guess it's like a cute fish that sings? I don't know.
And she okay, I just noticed that her bra is two fishes kissing.
Yes. And she also has
it's like Superman's logo.
No, because they're actually kissing on the lips. Yes. And also, it's worth pointing out, she is referred to, at least in the wiki, as Sailor Bury. So also a sailor.
Interesting. I hope people got the joke about Superman's logo, but it's a deep cut.
So Usagi doesn't know what to do because she's like, this is Alice. I can't dust Alice.
Yeah, and she has no experience fighting people who turned into monsters.
Right.
That's never happened before.
Well, I think her last rod only destroyed.
Yeah.
Like the one that just had before this. Her attack only killed. I think she lost her healing.
Yeah.
That's why she's like, I can't kill her.
I mean, she must have, right? Except that in a minute she's gonna. Well, anyway, we'll see. So she doesn't know what to do. She doesn't know what to do, and all of a sudden, what is it? Is it the Jets or the Sharks that walk up, snapping their fingers?
This is the coolest intro. I'm sorry. It's like, yeah, I get it. It's really good.
Yeah, so we get some finger snapping, and then this is a pretty cool intro. We get the Sailor Starlights, or Sailor Starlights, right?
Yes.
Who also look exactly like the Three Lights.
In some ways.
Yes.
Exactly. But instead of being dressed, and they identify themselves as Sailor Star Fighter, Sailor Star Maker, and Sailor Star Healer. Yeah, Sailor Star Healer. So they are Senshi, presumably. If we're going with the naming conventions, they have the collar. They have the sailor collar.
Mm-hmm.
They are also dressed like dominatrices.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They have, because everything is like shiny patent leather.
Thigh high.
They have thigh high, high heeled boots, bras, booty shorts, and chokers.
Yep.
All accurate.
Which the chokers are not new. All the Sailor Scouts also have chokers, but still.
It is a look.
It is a look.
Yep. And the other thing too that I've noticed is like every new sailor that comes in, murder on the brain.
Yeah.
Let's kill her.
I mean, that's what makes Sailor Moon special, is that she doesn't kill, that she's the moral core of them.
She has that unique quality of not murdering.
I mean, listen, you say that, Chris, but I kind of feel like that's realistic, in the sense that, like, I feel like most people confronted with a deadly opponent and a weapon would be like, yeah, at whatever it takes so that I'm not dead.
Wow, I can't believe Jordan is advocating.
Oh no, I'm not advocating. I'm saying that's what makes the ones.
And your ground, Jordan, over here.
That's what makes the people who don't do that heroes.
So yeah, we get some really cool attacks here. We get Sailor Star Sirius Laser. So you know it's a serious attack.
Sirius Laser.
I love it.
Oh god, you're gonna love the Starlight's attacks. Some of them.
Oh yeah. Just wait.
Yeah. There might be some reproductive organs involved.
Oh no.
Because, okay, I mean, again, we didn't mention it here, but we mentioned it earlier. I mean, Chris is talking about them being dressed like dominatrixes and not wearing a lot of clothes. They appear to have lady bodies, for sure. Like, they have sexy lady silhouettes, let's say.
Yes.
Yeah.
They like to attack saying certain things that are a little left of center.
Yeah, well, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yes.
So, Sirius Laser does not kill the monster, though, just kind of like singes her a little bit. And then
she's stunned and awaiting the finishing attack.
Yeah. And smoking.
Her stun meter has filled up. I've been playing God of War 2K18.
There you go.
Later.
And so, yeah, is it Starfighter Isaiah?
Yes.
Starfighter's
Isaiah. Yes.
Starfighter's like, yeah, now I'm going to kill you. And Sailor Moon's like, no, jumps in front of the not in front of the blast, but where the blast would be, going, no, like, this is Alice. And they're like, yeah, once you're turned into a phage, you're dead. Like, that's it. There's no saving. There's only one person who could save a person who was turned into a phage, and that person's not around, so this person's fucking fucked.
That mysterious person who we're searching for. Here's the thing about this. So the Sailor Starlights have killed before.
Oh yeah,
like, it's fairly clear at this point.
Yeah.
Like, we don't necessarily know that Michiru and Haruka have killed people. Like, they're definitely into it. Like, they're up for it. But we don't know that they've done it.
I mean,
these three have done murders.
They must have. Come on.
They have. They come from a war. They had a body count.
Like, I'm not saying they didn't. I'm saying we don't have it like this explicit. I don't think.
So then the thing that happens is it's kind of the thing that always happens, and it's the thing that always I think is a little cheesy. That said, it has beautiful animation this time, so I'm more on board.
I also like that that Sailor Starfighter is making gun fingers.
Oh yeah.
She's going to just shoot her with gun fingers.
So Sailor Moon just is like, when confronted with this thing, going, "There's nothing I can do. I don't have an ability to do this. Oh, you know what I'll do? I'll just do that."
Yeah.
And she just now has that ability to save this person. She does this attack, which has now been named Starlight Honeymoon Therapy Kiss.
Wonderful.
Which is a delightful, stupid name. And I love that the wand spins in front of her hands for the beginning of it a bunch. That's awesome.
No, she does the jazz hands, and then the rod just spins in front of it.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah, did you notice that when the wand is spinning in front of her left hand, she is actually like moving her hand?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just a little bit.
Make it spin.
Yeah,
it's really cool. I love this. Yeah, Deanna, I think you're right. Where this is like, they're like, hey, last season.
Yep.
Let's make all the stuff look really good.
Yeah, that's why I love it. It's beautiful, and I know you guys love the Endo like soft heads animation. But anytime that came up in other seasons, I was like, oh, the A-Team's on vacation. They brought for the episode. I'm like, great. So I'm glad that this doesn't happen anymore.
So Feathers blast her, and they refill the life meter in her starseed. And what does she yell out?
Beautiful.
And the seed goes back into her head, and she's unconscious, but she's fine. And the starlights are gone
in a tree. Like everybody loves to lurk in trees.
Oh yeah,
the thing. And they're like, no, we didn't know she had this much power. Woo!
It's getting interesting, they say, and they're right.
Yeah,
it is.
So Usagi is just kind of chilling. And then the rest of the Senshi walk up, and Usagi's like, where were you guys? By the way, had to do this all myself.
But she doesn't tell them. She's like, oh, the thing and the other thing. And they're like, what? I was like, Usagi, there's like a big monster and new sailors. I was like, talk to them, please.
She tells them, and I really like this line. She's like, the enemy is a Sailor Senshi. There are also other new Sailor Senshi. Like, hey, everybody. There are going to be lots of new playsets and toys.
So I do want to talk about the Starlights again and about their transformation and such, because it's a thing in this show. Obviously, like we've always said, the in world apparently you can't recognize Sailor Senshi, but as viewers we can. As viewers we go, oh, the three lights are the Starlights. Obviously, we didn't see their transformation, but we know it. And I guess what I want to know is, like, what do you think the show was wanting the audience to think about that? Like, do you think the show was going, I mean, do you think the people making the show were like, yeah, people will just accept that? Like, obviously, we introduced these characters as men, I guess, they're teenagers, as men, boys, whatever you want to say. And then they become Sailor Senshi, who are women, and you know it's them. Do they expect the audience to just go, yeah, cool? Do they expect the audience to go, whoa, what's up with that? Like, what? Like, yeah, like, what do you think?
I think maybe a little bit of both, being like, okay, this happened. I can't wait to find out how or why. You know what I mean? It's like, no, like super shocked and be like, oh, it's them. I want to find out how they turn into these girls. Versus being like completely and absolutely gobsmacked. Because again, like Chris likes to say, this is a show for babies. So I do notice children are a lot more open to those kinds of ideas. And they're probably like, oh yeah, they just have magic and then they turn into girls. Great.
Because like obviously like it's the same as, for example, Tuxedo Mask. We didn't see Tuxedo Mask. We didn't see Darien turn into Tuxedo Mask at the beginning of the show for a bunch of episodes, but we knew it in episode 1. Like, they're identical.
Yep.
Yeah, and like, and eventually it is made explicitly clear,
right, that
it is Tuxedo Mask.
It's just that extra added element of their gender changing. Like, it just makes me wonder what were they going for when they chose that.
Well, with Tuxedo Mask, like, we're not surprised, but Usagi is.
Right.
He is Tuxedo Mask. I don't believe it.
But no, like I was saying earlier, I do think that this is in a lot of ways like it's a logical progression, right? Like we get Fish's Eye, we get Haruka and Michiru, or Haruka specifically, where there are characters kind of talking about and presenting like gender fluidity, I guess. And so like at this point in the show, you're kind of used to it. I feel like it's just like this is the next step.
Yeah, and I have to say, it also kind of makes me feel really good being like, oh yeah, if you want to be really powerful, you have to be a woman. So it's like, so you actually like have the power of doing all these things. Yeah, Tuxedo Mask, he throws roses, whatever. But, you know, you have to turn into a woman to really be able to kick butt. So when I was younger, I was like, yeah, take that, He-Man.
Excellent.
So something that you didn't see, at least I didn't see in like Western cartoons, in which, you know, like they're taking a male and actually giving it power by making it more of a female environment. It was always kind of like the opposite. You know, if a woman wanted to become powerful, then she had to become more male-like, whether in dress or attitude or anything like that. This was like the first time I saw that script flipped.
That's
and
true.
It was like, yeah.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, and for all like they are definitely a specific brand of femininity that is like much more aggressive than we've seen from the other Sailor Scouts, right? Like the Sailor Scouts are in like extremely feminine clothing, like they're wearing mini skirts and they're schoolgirl uniforms. They're superhero schoolgirl uniforms. But the Starlights are, as I said, they're dressed in leather with like halter tops and booty shorts and these buck wild boots. So it's very much a obvious and kind of like in your face brand of femininity too that I think reinforces what Deanna was saying.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I really like that interpretation.
I think it's really interesting. Like I mean, we're kind of getting into final thoughts. We need to do Sailor Business Says in a second.
Oh yeah, sure.
I do really think I liked this episode a lot. Like I thought it was really interesting.
Yeah.
I like the new characters. I like the way that they're presented to us. Like this episode asks so many questions that it's the first time in a while. And I say this having just been through like, you know, a big boss fight. This is the first time in a while where I feel like if I was watching this, you know, just as a kid or like watching it as it aired, I would be like, okay, I gotta know what the deal is with these people. Because I have no idea what the deal is with these people.
You know, definitely.
On either side.
Yeah, I feel like that's why I feel like this season really kind of takes the audience a little bit more seriously, in which it's less afraid to like test you and push you, even though, you know, it's for children. It does leave a lot more open to interpretation for a while at least, and it pushes you to accept things that might not be as straightforward as in other seasons.
I absolutely loved it, and I am excited that Sailor Moon is the main character of Sailor Moon again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was so excited. I was so happy that these episodes were open because for me, this is the turning point in Sailor Moon, and it's sad that it kind of happens towards the end of the run. But for me, where it became from a show I really liked to a show that I really loved. And it started with these episodes. So I was like, yes, let's get the Starlights, let's get the gender stuff, let's get the weird sailors named after metal. I'm ready.
Yeah, I am very much looking forward, like especially after getting through Supers. Like I'm very much, this is exciting Sailor Moon. But let's talk about what we've learned. We always try to learn a little bit of lessons from Sailor Moon. So it's time for Sailor Business Says. Deanna, what did you learn from this episode?
I mean, there was a lot to learn, but I guess the most useful part would be don't get engaged in an airport in Tokyo or your fiance will get got.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, that's probably the most useful one. The other one is if you do need to land a plane, Taiki's forehead will do. But
Wow.
I think the fiance one's more helpful.
Harsh. I learned something that about something that I forgot to mention during the episode, which is I learned about what makes an actress beautiful, which is that Ray, upon seeing Alice for the first time in person, said she has such a small face.
Oh yeah.
How about you, Chris?
That's what I always say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Small face.
I learned that if there's a sign that says "Do not enter, employees only" or "No trespassing," that is just a suggestion.
Oh yeah,
go where you want to go.
Totally.
Someone might need you back there. Someone might need you to heal them with a magic rod.
Well, because here's the thing to note about that section that was locked off. There was exactly one person in it.
There were 3 trucks and 1 person. I'm like, it's not exciting.
It was Alice only. Every other person was busy on set, apparently.
Wait, didn't Saya go towards there?
Yeah.
Like, where did he go?
Well, he went in there and then took a left, and Alice was on the right. So.
Okay, thank you. I was like, what happened there?
Good stuff. No, great episode. I'm so excited to be back into it. Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. Like I said, I love the animation. I love the action. It's bonkers. There's an episode coming up, and I said no spoilers, but there's an episode where they actually deal with Usagi's giant butt wings and what happens when she has to move around in a small house.
Oh, delightful.
Oh, that sounds great.
So it's like more self-aware in that way. And yeah, it just makes me super happy. The only thing that doesn't make me happy is, of course, the last season. But I think you guys are gonna love it.
Excellent.
I am very much looking forward to watching this, and I'm glad to hear you say that, because people have been really respecting the fact that I don't want to get spoiled on this, and so no one has been like, "Oh, you're gonna like it." They've just been like, "It's weird."
You're not gonna believe how much you love Pegasus by the end of this. I'm kidding. He does not come back, thankfully.
All right.